Update. I commented on a post of my boyfriend on a "Are we dating the same guy" page, and he found out. What are my next steps? Original post. I, 28 female, recently found a post about my boyfriend, 29 male, on a local "Are we dating the same guy" page. We have been together for 5 years. There were several comments on there from girls stating they had texted him or gone out with him, and I couldn't tell if this had happened recently or if it could have been from a long time ago. So I commented on it anonymously, asking if anyone had talked to or hooked up with him recently, and a girl responded saying she did, and asked if I did as well and if I had any tea on him. I probably should have said I was his girlfriend, but I was so embarrassed I couldn't, and I was worried I wouldn't get any information, so I just said he told me not to talk to or sleep with anyone else, and that he wouldn't either, but that we never hooked up. She responded back claiming he said the exact same thing to her. I then asked when they last hooked up, and she never responded back. My boyfriend then came home furious, slamming doors, giving me dirty looks, but wouldn't say anything to me. I know he knows I was the one who anonymously posted because I had suspicions that he had been cheating on me and have recently been asking him, and he denied it. I then went back to the post, and all of her responses were deleted, so I know she told him, and I'm sure he told her to delete them, but he's pissed at me for it. Anyway, what are my next steps? Do I confront him about it or just wait and see if he says anything? Also, we rent an apartment together and are on the same lease, so that makes things even more complicated. Now for the top advice before reading the update. You break up with him, duh. How much time is left on your lease? Oh, I am. I'm just wondering if I should even say anything about it or just let it be. A little over 5 months. He's already shamelessly cheating on you, so there's really no reason to talk about it. He knows it's wrong and he's mad he got caught. I'd treat him like a roommate but only talk about bills. Probably not safe. Statistically, the most dangerous time for women is when they break up with a guy. From what she's reported about his behavior already, there are a lot of red flags that indicate she would put herself at risk living with him. Leave him. Why do you need a confession from him? You already know what's going on. I guess I want some kind of closure, although I don't think him admitting to it will give me that anyway. Plus, he'll probably lie, so it's just my own delusion wanting him to realize he's wrong. It's definitely over between us. Talk to whoever owns the lease and tell them you need to move out. And make sure you move out, because he's been cheating on you the whole time. Get an STD and HIV test done ASAP. Take steps to get away from him. Have an exit plan. Don't try to forgive him. No need to confront him. You know what he did. Can you go stay with your parents? If yes, take your important things and go. And tell all your friends he cheated so they know. I will reach out to them first thing on Monday. Thank you for your advice. Freeze your credit, keep your documents safe, and make sure he can't revenge porn you. Put stuff, clothing, mementos, etc. in public storage, but send any furniture you own out to be cleaned and kept at the business. When I lived in Houston, for example, I sent a couch out to be cleaned at Burke's Upholstery instead of having Stanley Steamer come to my place to clean it. Then I had it sent to my new place without my ex finding my new address. Change social media passwords. If it gets ugly enough, try to donate plasma and get cash for a bus pass, gym membership, prepaid cell phone, or cell service. Now for the update. First off, I want to thank everyone for all of your helpful advice on my original post. He did admit that the girl sent him a screenshot of the post, and he was just upset because he didn't like a bunch of random people knowing his business. But I also found out that he brought that same girl to our apartment when I was out of town a week prior, and they had sex in our bed. He never apologized for it, but simply stated that if I had come home when I said I was going to, I went to my mom's because we were in a fight and hadn't spoken in days, and I decided to stay 2 days longer. Then it wouldn't have happened. We are absolutely over, and although he begged me to forgive him for a couple of days, he finally got mad enough at me because I wouldn't sleep with him that he left me alone. It's too expensive for me to break the lease, but we live in a 2-bedroom apartment, so I am able to have my own space. Or so I thought. I woke up yesterday at 3 in the morning wondering where my dog was, as he sleeps with me. I got up and couldn't find him, but my ex's door was shut, so I opened it because I could hear my dog sniffing under the door to get out. There he was, sitting on the bed with my phone in his hand, going through it, after we had established that we were not together. I took it and looked at the screen time information, and he had spent over 30 minutes in my saved passwords. So now I am actually concerned and very weirded out, and I may just ask my mom for a loan to break the lease because he literally crept into my room while I was sleeping and took my phone to go through it. Anyway, thank you to everyone for the comments, concerns, and advice. Although I feel like I wasted many years with him, it was a growing experience, and I will absolutely do better in the future. Edit. I also got STD tested as well, just waiting to hear the results back. Change every damn password. Look for instructions on the internet on how to do it on iPhone or Android. Check your phone for tracking, apps or settings. Consider wiping it clean. And get the heck out of that apartment. And yes, make a report and file for an order of protection. That level of boundary crossing is terrifying. Hey, so I don't know your landlord's situation, but some are willing to break leases with less penalty if there is potential for DV situations and such. Try to find ways to document things he does. Buy a small camera for your bedroom if you can to catch him sneaking in. Anything. And talk to your landlord or management company about the situation. Hopefully they can work with you. Depending where you live, there are some states that allow you to break your lease over DV. You really need to look into getting a restraining order after what happened yesterday. That's some very concerning behavior on his part, and it won't get any better without consequences looming. Next story. My married best friend is cheating and wants me to help her cover it up. So I, 32 female, am married, and my husband, 34 male, and I have been together for 8 years. Things are fine, normal ups and downs, some stress lately because of work and family stuff, but nothing catastrophic. My best friend, 31 female, recently started confiding in me about her affair. She's been married for 3 years and started seeing a coworker about 6 months ago. I told her I didn't want to be involved, but she keeps telling me details and even asks me for advice on how to sneak around. She says I'm being judgmental because I don't want to cover for her. Last weekend, she even asked if she could use my house as an excuse. I said absolutely not. I told her I'm uncomfortable and that she's putting me in an impossible position. Now she's mad. My husband says to just cut her off entirely, but part of me feels guilty. She's been my friend for over a decade, and she says I'm abandoning her when she needs someone. Should I tell or what? Not sure what to do. I'm abandoning her when she needs someone. How incredibly manipulative. Seems to me she has plenty of someones. She can figure out how to cheat on her own. She wants to drag you down with her so she doesn't feel like such a jerk. She already has someone. She has 2 someones. They just don't know about each other. Side dude definitely knows. Husband, not so much. I agree with your husband. She is not a real friend. She is trying to use you so that she can betray her poor husband. I would even go so far as to tell the husband that she's cheating on him. He needs to get tested for possible STDs. Personally, I'd be questioning my relationship with my wife if she took the stance you're taking. To go along with what your friend is asking you, but just have me wondering when you'd start pulling the same thing as your friend. I feel that if I were her husband, I would want to know too. I'll ask my husband and see what he thinks about me exposing her. I don't know how to feel. You feel absolutely nothing. She took the action, and rather than keep the details to herself, she got all excited about the lies and deceit and needed someone to tell how amazing she is for fooling her poor husband. Her using you makes her feel less guilty about her behavior. If you're still participating, then she's not so bad. I'm sorry, it's clear you're going through something, but cheating, lying, and trying to make me an accomplice is not on my dance card this month. When people show you who they really are, believe them. Protect yourself. She's being manipulative, greedy, and gross. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling on the guy I was dating to his wife and blowing up a perfect family? I found myself single in my 30s after a 10-year engagement ended and had to re-enter the dating scene. Being a work-from-home, social circle the size of a Cheerio, pick-up groceries kind of girly, I inevitably had to resort to online dating apps. I matched with a guy, super cute, similar interests, seemed nice enough. We chatted for a bit. Didn't seem like a serial killer, so we went on a few dates. He had no social media presence at all, claimed veteran status, Army Ranger, wore the hat/hoodie as proof, liked dogs and hiking, and we had great chemistry and effortless conversation. So far, no red flags. Maybe dating in your 30s isn't as bad as they say? Wrong. After a few weeks, we had only ever been to my house, never his. I wanted to see his place, meet his dogs, make sure he didn't have a bare mattress on the floor, etc. Eventually, I kind of put my foot down and said that the next time we spent the night together, it would be at his house. He hesitated a bit and eventually said, "Well, those are all certainly words." What? Alarm bells were ringing and the red flags were flapping in the breeze at this point. Eventually, after gathering my girls together and going full investigator mode, I'm talking looking up property records, Google Maps Street View, and of course a good old-fashioned Facebook stalk, like the whole thing. We found out that he's married with 6 kids. He may not have a social media presence, but his wife sure did. They were the real deal. Christmas pictures and matching PJs, mushy anniversary posts about the life they'd built together. To top it all off, her first husband had died in Afghanistan, and his job was, you guessed it, an Army Ranger. While it's possible they both were Rangers, I had introduced him to a friend who was also a veteran, and my friend said he didn't act like one and doubted that he had served. At this point, I was pissed. Not only had he lied to me, but he lied to his wife, who seemed like a genuinely good person and certainly didn't deserve his bullcrap. Plus, don't even get me started on the whole stolen valor thing. I knew I had to tell her, since I'd want someone to tell me if I were in her shoes. I used my notes app on my phone to craft a message, edited it a million times, sent it to my girls for their edits, and then let it rip. I provided screenshots of his Tinder profile as evidence. She was obviously heartbroken and doubtful at first, but I had the receipts. He never messaged me again, but based on his Tinder location, which he kept active, he left the state for a while. Her social media profiles have since been scrubbed of all evidence of his existence. On one hand, I feel guilty for blowing up their perfect family, but on the other hand, he did it to himself by acting like a douche. I don't think I am the a-hole, but I'm searching for validation. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? And to anyone else navigating the dating scene in your 30s, Godspeed. Not the a-hole, but I wouldn't have done it. The world is too crazy right now. He knew where you lived. You have men offing their wives because they don't want to pay child support alimony, or they just don't want her to be with anyone else. They are also killing the women they are cheating with for jeopardizing their marriages by telling on them, instead of dealing with what they caused. I think about the woman who was thrown off of a balcony when a man's girlfriend came home while she was there. I don't think she knew he had a girlfriend, though. I also think about the other lady who was killed on FB Live after announcing she was still sleeping with her kid's father for months because he had been lying to his fiancé about it. I just wouldn't take a chance on putting my life in danger like that, unless they had no idea where I lived or worked. Kudos to the women who do. Yes, you are the a-hole. Do anything you wish to him, but destroying the family who was a victim also is not the right thing to do. Perhaps it would have been better to leverage him into doing the right thing. That's not her fault the family was destroyed. She informed the wife of what happened. It was up to the wife to determine what she wanted to do with that information. With this logic, the person who broke up the family is the husband and wife, not her. Last story. Am I the a-hole for ruining my ex-wife's relationship before it even got off the ground? Myself, 30 male, and my ex-wife, 30 female, met in the military and were married for 4 years. We had 2 children together. The marriage wasn't great. She was quite abusive to me physically and mentally, so I divorced her. Things were heated for quite some time, and then it fizzled out, and now we have a friendship, which is fantastic for the kids. So, I'm still active duty, and I had to go to the field for an exercise. When I got back, my ex-wife asked me if I would be able to watch the kids so she could go on a date. I said yes and told her to have fun. The next day, I asked her how the date went. She said it was fantastic, that she had a very good time, and that she liked the guy she was with. I asked a few more questions like, what's his name? How did you meet? What does he do for work? Etc. As soon as I got that information, my stomach dropped. The person she had just described, especially with the name, was my company commander, and she even sent me a photo of him that confirmed who he was. Now, I don't care who she dates. She can date whoever she wants and marry whoever she wants. That's not a problem as long as they're good to my kids. The problem is that she's trying to date my company commander, and in the military, that gets awkward as well as very inappropriate. I wrestled with the idea of going to my company commander and telling him who he was dating. A day or so later, I went into the office and asked if I could speak to the company commander, and the conversation pretty much went like this. Me: "Good morning, sir. Do you have a minute to talk about something?" Him: "Sure, Sergeant. How can I help you?" Me: "Sir, a little birdie told me that you went on a date with ex-wife's name. Is this true?" Him: "Why are you poking around in my personal life? Do you know how unprofessional and inappropriate this is?" Me: "Sir, the reason I'm asking is because that's my ex-wife. I don't care who she dates or what she does with her dating life, but I just think it would be incredibly inappropriate for you, as my CO, to date my ex-wife, especially if you're going to be around my kids. If you continue this relationship with her, then I will ask for PCA or PCS orders out of this unit." He turned about 40 shades of green and told me that he had no idea, that he didn't even know she had kids. He told me he would stop all contact with her and that he would not see her anymore. It wasn't long after that I got a call from my ex-wife screaming at me, demanding, "What did you do? Why are you out to get me? Why are you ruining my relationship?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Don't play dumb with me. You know damn well what you just did. You ruined my relationship with CO's name." I didn't ask her how she knew, and she flat out said, "Because you know damn well who he is, and that he's your company commander." After hearing her say that, it sounded like she was only trying to trade up from the enlisted side to the comfier, cushier officer side. After all this, I got calls and texts from her family telling me that I'm an a-hole, that I should let her live her life, and that I have no right to try and control who she dates or sees. Like I said before, I don't care who she dates, I don't care who she sees, as long as they're good to my kids. So, am I the a-hole for ruining my ex-wife's relationship before it even got off the ground? I can understand having one kid with her because maybe she tricked you, but you said she was extremely abusive. So why did you have a second child? The abuse started after our second child was born. We had 2 kids within 13 months. Okay, so how are you able to be friendly now? Also, why did your CO throw you under the bus like that? He could have just said, "Hey, I'm not into dating a woman with kids." Why did he say you complained to him? During the divorce process, it was ugly, but after the divorce, we came to an agreement, with the help of lawyers and a judge, that the kids don't need to see mom and dad fighting. We both went to therapy, not together, and it's been quite friendly since. Now, with that being said, it's not perfect. There are still some snarky comments said back and forth, but about 90% of the time we are friendly to each other, especially for the kids. I think my CO was trying to cover his own butt and not have anything to do with the situation after. He's been really awkward anytime he comes to talk to my platoon and has to talk to me since I'm the platoon sergeant. By the way, this all happened last Tuesday for a timeline reference.